Hello, everybody, and welcome to a super controversial and just crazy episode of It Was Tuesday with your host, James Chen, the instigator. I am the one always causing all sorts of crazy uproar on the internets. And today, what was the latest uproar that James Chen has caused? Let's actually bring out the tweet over here, and we will see James's crazy opinions over here. James Chen, quote, said, and I quote, boy, I retweet a lot of stuff here. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. Okay, this is what I tweeted. The pandemic showed the developers how important good netcode is for fighting games. Unfortunately, the side effect was making offline majors less important to attend, and thus, we are losing all of our majors. Perhaps a new crop may spawn, but I'm scared it seems unlikely. This was spurred on by tweets from Big E Gaming, which he said, I think this will be my last show. So Big E kind of tweeted out that it seemed like he was going to stop running majors when he's been running majors for literally four majors a year for like over a decade. And so I said in a follow-up tweet, which I've learned that nobody reads follow-up tweets. Having said that, please take the opportunity to thank Big E Gaming for everything he's done for the FGC for years and years. It's a thankless role, and Big E did it multiple times a year for over a decade. We salute you, sir. And then everyone got mad at me. Everyone started yelling at me, and they're like, I totally disagree, Jay. You have the worst takes ever, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what? Huh? What? How is this even a hot take? How is this even a hot take to me, dude? Like, it's not even like, I don't even think it's crazy. Like, it actually confused me that it got so much traction and so many people started talking about it. Like, I literally feel like I should subscribe to Twitter Blue, because you know what? I just do this all the time. Oh man. So yeah, so here's the thing, right? There's almost a glut. No, glut, doesn't glut mean like not enough? Glut means the opposite of a lot, right? If I'm not mistaken. Dude, am I wrong on that? Oh, glut. Yeah, glut. Okay, glut does mean too much. Okay, got it. So, gluttony, of course. You're right. So, here's the thing, right? Why did I say this? Because, logically speaking, yeah, a lot of people brought up like Evo had record numbers, etc., etc. But here's the thing. Like, the biggest majors are not going to have a problem. Convincing people to travel to an Evo or a CEO or a combo breaker is not going to be the problem. The problem right now is that we don't have any majors. We have the super majors, we have the Grand Slams, but we've lost all our majors. Now, granted, a lot of the events, NCR, SCR, Final Round, Kumite in Tennessee, etc., a lot of the events, all of Big E's events, a lot of these shut down before there was good netcode, right? So there's no correlation here. But dude, Gundam Jehudi Kai, thank you. I mean, he says you will be proven right eventually a few years from now, and you can post that tweet again. Like, here's the thing, right? This is like a lot of people, like, it's weird. Like, they read my tweet and they won't even like look into the context. I don't know how you interpret it. Like, people are like, James says that people don't care about majors anymore. And I was like, where did I say that? I said majors were going to become less important. And that is 100% absolutely true, right? And then like someone was arguing with me and I literally said to him, all right, look, you are a pro player right now. You have two options right now. You can buy a plane ticket to fly it on Thursday, play in the pools on Friday, play in semifinals on Saturday, play in the top 8 on Sunday, fly home on Monday to an event that may have 200 entrants. If it has 200 entrants, you get 70% of the pot at $10 each. You are getting $1,400. So will you travel to this event to win $1,400, or are you going to stay at home and on Thursday stream, and on Friday stream, and then on Saturday enter an online tournament, which you have the potential to win maybe $300 or even $200 on Matcherino? And you know what? There was probably a tournament on Friday that you entered that you might be able to win. And in fact, on Saturday, there's probably 2 events that you can enter in and try to win money on. And then on Sunday, stream again or maybe relax. And then on Monday, go back to streaming and have all this content for your YouTube and gain subscribers and gain ad revenue for Twitch. Like, where is the fault in talking about this? And what are the repercussions of this? A lot of the top players who have decent streams have less reason to travel. And if they do not travel to regionals, a lot of times we went to regionals because we wanted to see and play against some of these cool players. When Capcom Pro Tour was going all around the country and everything like that at all these regionals, everybody would be like, I'm going to this regional because I get to meet my heroes. Daigo is flying out, Tokido is flying out, etc., etc. Right, Max not attending EVO and still making bank is a perfect example of this, right? And so if they don't go to regionals, you're going to lose a lot of purpose for people wanting to go to regionals also as well. A lot of people are going to be like, well, none of my favorite players are going to be there. And what was the other reason why a lot of people went to regionals? Because they don't know, right? Chris CCH has no idea how well he would do against Punk, because Punk's in Florida and Chris CCH is in California. They very rarely got to play each other, so they would go to regionals to play, and then you would get an idea of where you stand. You know what? You don't need to do that anymore. These players are playing against each other. Like, Punk and NuckleDu fought 3 times in 3 different tournaments at a recent Tuesday. They played 3 times in 3 different tournaments on a Tuesday. And you know what the whole thing is? The event, the matches were great. They're getting the knowledge that it's not bad netcode. You're actually getting real results out of this. You're getting legit results out of this. That's one of the things that is different about having good netcode, is that you have this ability to play online, and that becomes the norm now, right? Another story that I like to tell, when the Xbox 360 first came out, in the first year of the Xbox 360, which was one of the first really, really strong online consoles, one of the first games that came out for Xbox 360 was Dead or Alive. I don't remember. I think it was Dead or Alive 3, I think it was. 3 or 4, or one of them. Probably 3 or 4. I don't know. It was one of the Dead or Alives. And it was the largest played online game on the Xbox 360. It was the game that was played the most online on the Xbox 360. So that year for EVO, and EVO East and EVO West, EVO decided to add Dead or Alive 4, okay, Dead or Alive 4 for the 360 to the lineup. And you know what we found out? Because all these people who were playing Dead or Alive were so used to playing online, they had no concept of traveling for tournaments. They didn't get what it was about going to an offline tournament. At EVO West, Jason Cole entered Dead or Alive because Toyota was our sponsor at the time, and they were giving out prize bonuses for every game. So Jason Cole entered Dead or Alive at EVO West. He overslept pools. He overslept pools. He made top 8. Jason Cole overslept pools and he made top 8 because nobody showed up, nobody entered, and nobody played. He DQ'd him. Everybody got DQ'd all the way up so that he made Sunday. Jason Cole literally made top 8 at EVO West for Dead or Alive by oversleeping pools. When you have bad netcode, it creates a higher reason to go offline. Smash Melee is one of the most successful fighting games of all time and has lasted so long because their scene is used to traveling, because that was the only way you could play well. It's the only way you could play that game against somebody else well. Before now, obviously, there's the days of Slippy, but that's a whole nother story, right? Smash Ultimate, the netcode is bad, so everybody travels offline to go and play. That's just kind of how it is, right? That's just what it is. When you have good netcode, you're going to have a lot less reason to travel as much because you're going to be able to play these online tournaments from home, etc., etc. And you know what the worst thing about this whole thing is? The worst thing about this concept is thanks to all of Arturo's push lately, there is actually a legit reason to play at an offline tournament and be like, man, this was laggy as crap, see me online. And have legitimacy to say that your online experience is better than the offline experience because you have your super maxed out PC where you have the least amount of input lag and you can react to everything that you can't at an offline major, right? There is legit reason to say that the online experience is actually better than the offline experience now. Now, having said all that, my point is that this is a factor that we have to think about, right? It's not the only factor. Clearly, the cost of running an event is a huge factor right now. The pandemic has screwed everything up. Yes, it costs way too much to run, so there's no reason to run majors anymore. But now you can run offline stuff, right? What's one of the biggest tournaments out there right now? Tampa Never Sleeps. He runs a bunch of online stuff, and it's legit, and it's doing well. Yipes is running Can Opener, and it's legit, and he's doing well. There's less reason to run majors even for TOs because it's so expensive. It's so expensive to run these things that they're better off running online things, and people will enter online things now because that is how they play all the time and that is what they're used to, and it's legit now. It's actually legit, right? So JP says he's got to drive 2.5 hours to play at the Guild House, which is the NorCal gathering place where K-Brad and all those guys play. And it's not a coincidence that everybody who responded to me was like, dude, James, you're crazy. I'd still rather go to offlines. And I was like, okay, you played Street Fighter 4 or before. I'm like, you're an old man. Okay? You understand what offline means. So that's the thing, right? And again, Poke Cobalt, we're not worried about Evo. We're not worried about Combo Breaker and CEO. They're going to do fine. They're going to do fine, right? But let's say Capcom is actually sitting here and saying, let's do what we did before. Let's piggyback off of all of the regionals and majors so that we can have a Capcom Pro Tour again. What majors are they going to piggyback off of? What are the majors here in the United States? We've got Texas Showdown, we got Frosty Faustings, we got Combo Breaker, we've got CEO, we've got Evo. What else is there now? If Big E quits, what else do we have? right? What are we piggybacking off of? I mean, Gommel is really honestly a Smash event, right? Smash event. Fight Kingdom, maybe? Yeah, Europe has lost a bunch of majors. They just had a bunch. I think Celtic Throwdown, didn't they say that they stopped running it as well? And again, that has to do with costs, of course. But again, like, with these majors closing, the demand for them is not there. This is my point. The demand for having people come up and replace the majors aren't there because the top players are playing in like 7 weeklies every week, right? And yeah, that's another problem too, says Rio Ayanami. Yeah, there's too many majors out there. We need to scale back the majors, and we need to look at what things like Frosty Faustings were doing, where they would have run 2-day tournaments. Not everything has to be Evo Big Stage Top 8 Sunday. Let's scale back the regionals a little bit. Now, having said all this, this is my argument. This is my point, right? This is where my tweet comes from. And when I explain it like this, when I say it like this, there's nothing crazy about what I said. I didn't even say it was the only reason. I just said it makes majors less important, and as a result, we're losing a lot of majors, right? Because it's a factor. And if we ignore that, we're being the same kind of stubborn. Here's another story. When Evo went from arcade cabinets to consoles, do you know how much blowback Evo got? People were so mad. They were so mad because console wasn't legit. This is the same thing we're happening right now. The arcade to console and now the offline to online is almost mirroring itself. And the problem is people don't want to think about this and prepare for this, right? They don't want to prepare for this kind of thing. Okay, PC home platform, not just console, but home platform, right? We have to prepare for this. And my point is not that majors are not going to die. I mean, our majors are going away and we don't need them. I'm not trying to kill majors. My point is that this is something that we have to think about. And if we want to combat this, we're going to have to do a better job. Right? We need to make sure people have more of a reason to travel to regionals or make it cheaper to go to regionals. Make regionals 2 days so you don't have to go from Thursday to Monday, right? Thursday to Sunday, like Frosty Faustings used to do and still does right now. Right, and when majors die, who can replace them? This is a problem too, right? I have heard sources saying, maybe we should step in and run a major, and then when they calculate the numbers, they're like, this is not worth it. It's just not worth it, right? And so even though we may not have lost a lot of the majors because of the netcode, we aren't getting any push for new majors, and the netcode is a major factor. Yes, the costs are there too. The inflation of everything during the pandemic is a huge problem that really hurt everything. But again, I'm not trying to I didn't think that this was some sort of wild, I don't even know what people were mad about. Like, why would they be like, James, you're crazy, this is such a dumb take, or you're an idiot? Like, what is there even to say? Like, what is there even to call someone an idiot for over this take? This take is just, it's so logical and it's so, normal, right? I mean, is it just because I've actually said something negative about good netcode? I think that's just what it is. Is that I actually said that good netcode has a bad side effect, and I think people are mad about that. I really, really think that that's what they're mad about. Honestly. What's wrong with the majority of tournaments being online? Legit asking? Nothing. Not anymore. Not anymore. And that's what good netcode gives us. And that's why I keep saying that it's going to affect our majors. And I don't know why people are pushing back on this. Like, it's absolutely a true statement. Now, having said all of that, am I going to do everything in my power to promote offline as much as possible? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Vicetnet says, it's not that there's a problem with online events, it's that their simple existence provides competition for events on the calendar. Exactly. Right? And that's the thing. It's like, I love the good netcode. I'm not saying the good netcode is ruining our community, because online community can still work. It still exists, right? We're getting more players than ever, etc., etc. But now we have to start doing a good job. We have to start doing a better job of giving people reasons to go to majors. This is what I'm really trying to get at. When the arcades started dying, it's because arcades refused to evolve, right? They stayed being this dark, dingy little room with cabinets packed as tightly as possible, and that had no place in the world anymore. How do arcades exist these days? They're barcades, they're slash restaurants, they're a social place to hang out. I had said a long time ago, when arcades were dying, the way you keep arcades alive is by turning them more for the social experience. This is what we have to do. Not only turn majors into more of a social experience, but come up with other things. Find ways to make it cheaper for people. Give people more incentive to go. Give reasons for top players and pros to go to these things. I don't know what the answer is. Otherwise, I would run a major myself. But that's the thing. It's like, we can't just ignore this. Dude, 1 year before the cross-up was revealed as a controller, and I know I've told the story before, I started playing Tekken and I was like, wow, what if they create a controller like the Hitbox, except the movement buttons can be hit by your right hand at the same entire time? That would make everything super easy. And I changed it on the accessibility on PlayStation 4, and I did electric. And someone on my stream was like, wow, James, you're really good at electrics. And I was like, no, I actually just swapped buttons. I put right on the buttons with my right hand. And so I went to Twitter and I was like, hey, Tekken community, look what I did. We should talk about having this problem with controllers with buttons for movement on the right hand. And everybody was like, we won't accept it. Whatever. It'll never happen. Whatever. Shut up. You don't even play Tekken. Why do you even care? Get away. And then the cross-up came out and I was like, and everybody was like, oh my God, what the fuck do we do now? What do we do? And I was like, dude, come on. Come on, dude. Come on. I was like, I talked about this literally a year ago. We have to address these things before they bite us in the ass, dude. We have to address these things before they bite us in the ass. I did. I found my year-old tweets, Stanley Cup, and I retweeted them. I quote tweeted them. And I was like, I talked about this a year ago and you all told me to shut up. Like, I showed them, dude. Like, I'm telling you right now, my point of putting out that tweet and saying that this is a negative side effect of having good netcode is not that I'm trying to lambast good netcode or I'm saying that majors are dying. It's kind of like we need to start looking at this. We absolutely need to start looking at this and paying attention to this. Because if we want the offline to survive and still be able to convince people to go offline, because before we had good netcode, it was easy. It was easy. You have to go to an offline major. You'll find out what it's like to play for real. You'll be able to see all your favorite players. It's so cool. The top 8 environment is awesome. You'll get to watch live, Daigo playing again. Dude, like, none of that stuff is true anymore. None of that is true anymore. And I'm not making this up. This is a real thing. We have to look at this and we have to figure out, we have to create new ways outside of Evo, CEO, and Combo Breaker, because it's easy for anybody to plan 1 to 3 trips specifically for these things in a year, right? Evo is going to keep breaking numbers because that is the time that you spend the vacation to go to. But we had people traveling to every major during the heydays of the Capcom Pro Tour and the Tekken World Tour and everything like that. People with regular jobs, they were doing this because it was the best way to play, to get the experience, and it was a wonderful experience. And you got things that you couldn't get anywhere else. Whereas nowadays, we get Knuckle Dew versus Punk every day of the goddamn week. Every day of the goddamn week, we are getting Punk versus Knuckle Dew. We are getting Mena RD versus Punk. We are getting Chris T versus Chris CCH. Like, we get this stuff every single day now. As long as you just go and find the streams, you will find these matches. Can Opener is going on literally right now as we speak. You can go watch some high-level Street Fighter 6 right now if you don't feel like watching me. So again, we have to address this. I'm not trying to say good netcode is going to kill our community, because it's not. Our community is evolving. We're evolving to something else. We're evolving to online tournaments, to Discord. I looked at the new Guilty Gear generation, dude. You look at Razzo and Adventure and Jonathan Tene and all these guys. What are they doing? They're on a Discord and they're talking about Guilty Gear all day while playing each other all day. Like, they play each other every day. And they're talking on a Discord. We are evolving to something else. We're not losing our community. We're losing where our community lives. And if we want the offline to survive, we need to figure out a way to convince people to go to these offline majors. We need to start thinking about it. Because right now, who's going to blame Big E for not throwing another event? He's probably losing money. Can anybody in the chat right now, tell me who won Street Fighter 6 at the last Big E tournament this past weekend? Who won Street Fighter 6? I know the answer because I just ran into it. Right? I mean, Blue obviously watched it. He knows. Mike and Ike won. But a lot of people don't know. No, are we watching these events? How are these events going to make money? How are these events going to make money? And these are the things that we have to address. We have to talk about. Dude, seriously, consoles at home are going to hurt FTC the Arcade. Everyone would get mad at me. They seriously would. Yeah, there was a Big E tournament this last week. I think it was, was that one NEC this past weekend? Or was that Summer Jam? It was Summer Jam. It was Summer Jam last weekend. Summer Jam, that's the one. And see, look how many people in the chat are like, what? Summer Jam was last week? Wait, what? Where was the marketing? Huh? Like, this is what I mean. We have to understand what's happening with our community. My take is not that crazy. I'm actually not walking back this one because a lot of time people get mad at me. I delete them or I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. No, like, my take is not crazy at all. It is the lukewarmest take ever. That if people are interpreting it as a hot take, this is a problem. This is a huge problem. Because we are not going to be prepared for this. So again, we have to be sure that we're ready for this. And the idea that good netcode can hurt majors is not far-fetched. This is something that but there were other majors that same weekend. There's like 900 majors. And a lot of them are online too. I was commentating a CPT online South America West, right? Which was an online tournament, you know? Like, this is the thing. This is the situation that we have. And we have to address this. Nothing I said was a crazy hot take. This is the environment we live in, and we have to understand it. I'm not trying to say that good netcode was bad for us. I'm not trying to say majors are dead. I'm saying we need to pivot. We need to figure something out here because, and I still believe this, the offline experience at a major is still one of the best experiences you can ever have in the fighting game community. It's literally life-changing. You know, someone that I knew, I met at their first Frosty Faustings. It was the first Frosty Faustings was the first tournament they ever went to. And I was like, you enjoying it? And they're like, hell yeah. And I was like, you should go to more tournaments. And they're like, yeah, this is nothing I've ever experienced. This is great. It's wonderful. And then they became more involved in the community. And now they're one of the top commentators that you saw at EVO, right? Like literally the concept of these offline majors, they're wonderful. They're great. But we need to give people reason to go to these things. We have to find out ways to perhaps even try to help them afford it or something, like I said, by squeezing out the days. Like on Synchronized last week, you know, Kitty was arguing that we should extend EVO an extra day, and I was like, we can't, because that's an extra day of hotel, of an extra day of you not getting paid your wages, because most people don't have vacation hours. Like, we can't make it harder for people to go to events. We have to make it easier to go to events. We have to make it easier to go to events. You know? Oh, sorry. Here you go, Dirty Larry. It's Nathan. It's that time again, everybody listening on the podcast, where you just get to hear James make kissy noises. Yeah. Good boy. I don't know, Katy Perry. I don't know what the answer is. But something's got to happen. Majors are kind of too big for the cost. If I went to a big USA one, I wouldn't be able to see everything I wanted to see. Online events are one game and I can focus on and enjoy the whole time. That's a big part for me. Yeah, that's a great point, Necromancy Black. It's a great point. They extended EVO to 3 days, but if you noticed, they said they extended the convention to 3 days. The actual dates of EVO have not increased. They didn't add a day. It just means what's probably going to happen is that Sunday is going to stay open as a convention and be an extra watch room, and you can still play in the arcades and buy stuff from all the artists and stuff like that if you can't get a ticket for the arena on Sunday, because there's a lot of people left high and dry on Sunday this past year. So I'm pretty sure Sunday is just going to be another convention day is what it's going to be. Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's really, really great. That's what I was going to suggest to Rick, but he jumped in front of me, and Rick is a smart dude. He knows what he's doing when he's running events, okay? So he already was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I don't need James's stupid ideas. A lot of watch rooms in the hotel that weekend. Yep. Exactly. So, I don't really have much to add to this. I guess I can just answer questions from people in the chat. But this is where I stand on this whole entire thing. I think it's wild that people got mad about this tweet. You know, that people were just like, you're crazy, or, you know, you're stupid, or whatever like that. Like, honestly, like people are like I don't understand this at all. People are saying stuff like, someone actually said, shout outs to Smash Brothers, our online is so bad it forces offline events constantly. Yeah, exactly. Someone said, I don't agree with this take. If anything, it makes the offline major more prestigious to attend. There's not a lot of us left, but attending an offline major is something in itself, with the social interaction and the energy that it provides us all. Old person tweeted that, right? Like Someone said, why are your all brains fried? We have went through one of the deadliest pandemics in history and it isn't over. And you all want to argue that Netcode is too good that it's killing offline majors? Someone said, all due respect, James, this isn't it. You know, I just don't understand. Yeah, someone said, I love you, bro, James, but you have some very interesting takes. I don't see what everybody was disagreeing about. I honestly just don't. I was super confused by the response to this tweet. Honestly, I was legit confused by it. I was legit confused by the response to the tweet. What about having more side stuff like artist alleys and panels with devs and pro players? Things that draw people in. Game cons do it. Yeah, it's hard because you have to make sure you have people who are able to do that. You have to have people that want to do that. You're going to have to pay them to do that as well, etc., etc. So, and a lot of tournaments want to go the offline route, but the problem is they're not big enough, right? Nobody's going to go and buy a booth at this tournament when nobody watches, right? So not to blow any smoke at Big E, but like I said, nobody knew Summer Jam was this past weekend. So would you buy sponsorship for Summer Jam if you were a company? Would you see the Twitch numbers? Would you see the attendance numbers and go, I want to pay for a booth here, right? This is kind of the question here. And so, like I said, I don't know the answer to this. We've got to figure something out. But if we just sit here and go like, whatever, offline is the best. Online just enhances everything on offline and we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Like, we're dead. Like, if that's your attitude, we are literally dead. Right? And so we have to start addressing this. We have to start addressing this. And like I even said, JP, though, okay, so if Capcom wants to participate with offline events, who are they piggybacking off of? In the US. Like literally in the US, it'll be CEO, Combo Breaker, and Evo, which aren't going to have any attendee problems anyway. We'll get Frosty Faustings. We'll get Texas Showdown. We'll get First Attack in Puerto Rico. Defend the North. Defend the North, I think, is still running. Or did Defend the North stop? I don't remember now. So Fight Kingdom in the Northwest. Okay. So DTN is still running. ECT is still running. So we've got some decent amount of majors here. We've got some decent amount of majors that's still happening. So it's still possible. It's still possible. But again, like I said, we have to work on ways to convince people to go. And it's going to start with convincing the top players to go, right? Because, like I said, if you're Punk, if you're Smug, look what happened to Eris, dude. Eris used to be flown out for commentary, and now he makes enough money on stream that he doesn't go anywhere. He literally doesn't go anywhere because he makes more money staying at home getting subs. And that's going to be true for a lot of these players because not everybody can win money at a major. Right? So what is the incentive for someone like Punk or Nephew to go to an event? Right? Yeah, well, Eris also doesn't like to travel, but it gives him a much better excuse because he would travel for the money if he didn't have money. Flo doesn't stream anymore. Not that I know of in any case. So, but that's just the point. That's the point. If we do not address the fact that online tournaments and good netcode are a thing and giving people less reason to travel to events that aren't the big events, if we just sit here and put a blind eye to it and pretend that it's not, if we can't go la 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 la, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. Like, this is something we have to think about. This is something that we have to talk about. How do we get people to start going to offline majors? Because if you don't get the pro players there, you're not going to get the interest from the casuals. It's just what it comes down to. The pro tours bringing out the Daigos and the Tokidos and stuff like that are what made a lot of those. A lot of those tournament organizers admitted that. They've literally admitted that, right? Okay, James, so what would be the medium? I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of people out there who are a lot smarter than I am. And that's my point. Like, I want people to start talking about it. Because there's a lot of smart people out there. There's a lot of smart people out there. I don't know the answer, but somebody else might know the answer. And I'm hoping that somebody else can figure this out. If I figure something out, I'll let you guys know. Because I'm not keeping it to myself. I will tell everybody. Because like I said, I want offline majors to succeed. I want offline majors to succeed. So we'll see. We'll see. So whatever causality we can or can't prove about netcode on offline events, at minimum, it reduces the incentive to incur the costs and effort to do offline events, to do and to go to offline events. Exactly. And my point in my tweet, and I admit it, when I wrote it, it sounded like I was saying that it was the sole reason why we lost. But the cost thing, the price increase is all a part and parcel of online tournaments being good, right? Of netcode being good. If the netcode was still bad, we would still travel to these events because it's the only way to really know how good we are against a lot of these other people. Like I said, nowadays, I mean, NuckleDo and Punk play each other like 5 times a week. So, like, it's all related. It's all interconnected. It's all a part of the problem together. So, anyways, about online tournaments combined with offline tournaments, yeah, for sure. Even if the netcode was bad, we'd still have the problem, but I think we would have better viewership on stuff. And, you know, again, ask the Smash players, man. Smash Ultimate players are still traveling to events all over the place. I got a lot of people in my mentions off of that tweet being like, yeah, there's like a Smash Ultimate tournament like every other freaking week. People are still traveling to Smash Ultimate tournaments constantly. So maybe, I don't know. Like, these Smash players are actually still going to stuff, apparently. So, any case, it's an interesting topic to discuss, and it's something that we need to talk about. And that's all my point is trying to be, right? That's all what I'm just trying to say here. And so, again, I don't know why everyone started yelling at me, why my tweet created the big shitstorm that my tweets always seem to do. Would you guys hate me if I actually got Twitter blue? Like, I don't want to support Elno. I don't want to give Elno any money, but, like, I feel like I kind of I'm stupid not doing it, honestly. I'd ask the devs to consider the option that tournaments can advertise their events inside the game, like seasonal events, add-ins, merch, and maybe an incentive. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think something's got to happen. We got to figure something out. We got to figure something out, honestly. So, any case, that's all I'm going to have to say for tonight. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for watching over here. I hope, again, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from a little bit more, and I hope you guys understand what my point was trying to make that tweet, and how I really honestly don't think there was anything controversial about the tweet at all. Like I said, it was the Lucast of warmest of tweets, honestly. So, any case, hope you guys had a good time, and I'm going to continue to keep I'm gonna keep continuing to generate interesting conversations on Twitter. And then I guess accidentally creating content for myself here on It Was Tuesday. So again, if you want to hear the realist of takes over here and the smart point of views, make sure you tune in to the most important podcast in the fighting game community. Even though for me,
it was Tuesday.